Thank you for tuning in to the NSUSpartans.com weekly football coaches show with Norfolk State football coach Pete Adrian. This week we'll look back at last week's victory over Delaware State and preview the upcoming matchup with Hampton in the Battle of the Bay. And Coach Adrian, team's still on a roll, won 4 in a row now after the 38-21 victory at Del State last Saturday. And I imagine looking back at the game on film, there was a lot that you were pleased with.
Oh yeah, I mean, first of all, we went out, we certainly took control of the game early, jumping out to, I think it was 24-0, and of course we let them score right before halftime, and brought them back, and we had to regroup a little bit, which was good. I mean, they've got their, I think probably the best receiver overall in the conference. The Wilson kid came back, and he made a big difference for him. He's very athletic, very quick, and made the receiving corps a little better. But it was a good test for us because, I thought we slumped a little bit, but then, we took over again halfway through the fourth quarter and just shut them down, got some turnovers, got added to another score. Our offense had 500-plus yards offense, and probably the biggest thing was all the penalties again, and took some points off the board, and it kept a couple of every one of their scoring drives. We at least had a 15-yard penalty involved in that, and we've got to get away from that. We talk about it a lot, and the kids don't want to do it, but things are getting called, so we just have to try to change the way we play. But that's a hard thing to do.
Yeah, I imagine that obviously 14 penalties, as you said, things you want to correct moving forward. And yeah, is that just a matter of your team got out to a big lead and maybe just lost a little bit of the intensity and focus a little bit perhaps in the second half?
Well, I think we lost a little intensity at the end of the half. We came back and played hard in the second half. I mean, if I'm correct, I think in the third quarter they didn't do a whole lot. And then it was the fourth quarter. At the very end of the third and halfway through the fourth, I think they scored twice in the fourth quarter on us. And then we rerighted the ship right there then too, and then got 2 turnovers at the end of the game, and the offense moved the ball, and we got another score in there to ice the game. And I thought we had control of the game. You just don't like the way you're playing. And then I know in one drive, I think we had 3 penalties on third down, all pass interference calls, and we just can't do that. And of course, there are always judgment calls, and you never know. If you're putting a hand on anybody, they're going to call you.
Now, while you certainly want to work on penalties moving forward, there was a lot to be happy about. As you said, 500 yards of offense and really good balance again. Takeem Hedgeman, career high 132 yards rushing. Chris Wally, a career day passing, 327 yards passing, and really you were clicking on all cylinders there for a good portion of the game offensively.
Yeah, and our special teams played well, and again, I know we missed a long field goal, but we made the field goals we had to make. I thought our kickoff coverage overall was really good, and I was pleased with our punt. So I mean, everything went good on that aspect. We just got to continue to do what we're doing.
Chris Wally again, named MEAC co-offensive player of the week. Just another day at the office for him, 28 of 36. We're over halfway through the season. He's still sitting at about 75% completion rate. Is this just something now that you just sort of start to expect for him moving forward?
Yeah, I was going to say, people will start expecting. I don't think people realize how good that is. I mean, that's just phenomenal. And I don't know how long you can keep something up like that. Like I said, it's hard to complete 75% of your passes in pass scouting on air, let alone in a game where you got different looks and blitzing people coming at you, and receivers catching the ball. And of course, our receivers are doing an outstanding job of catching the football, and Wally's certainly doing a good job of reading the proper key and getting the ball to who he's supposed to get the ball to.
Now, the usual suspects had good days from Victor Hairston, Xavier Boyce, a career day with 10 catches, but we're also starting to see some other players step up and make plays too. Derek Demps, career high 72 yards receiving. Joe Hawkins had a couple nice catches too, and that really makes you hard to defend. I know moving forward when you're spreading the ball around to that many players making plays.
Well, that's the key. You can't be one-dimensional, and of course, everyone's going to try to take Boyce away. So you have to do a few things with that. You have to have him move around a little bit in different positions where they can take him away. But then if they want to try to double or roll into him, you have to have people on the other side that can make plays, and I think we have that. And if you can prove that to the other people, then it really puts you in a hard spot defensively because pick your poison.
Well, Coach, you're still sitting in first place now, 3-0 in the MEAC. I would assume not much you have to say to your team to get them excited about this coming week's game against Hampton. It's the Battle of the Bay this Saturday, and a lot on the line this week as you face the Pirates this Saturday at Dick Price Stadium.
Well, that's very true, and I mean, it's nice to be home. I've been on the road 4 out of 6 weeks, and we have a 3-game home stretch here, so it's nice that we don't have to travel. We should be a little better rested, I hope. And you don't have to say a whole lot to the kids. There's a lot of football left. Every game's a big game. But no game's the end, so to speak. We're in the best shape of anybody right now because of where we are. But you get that target on your chest, you got to play hard.
How is your team handling that? As you said, having the target on the chest. I mean, they were the underdog going into the South Carolina State game. Now everybody's starting to look at you as kind of the favorite in the conference moving forward, being in first place right now.
Well, you know, you just got to take one at a time. That's what we do. I mean, our focus right now is totally on Hampton, nobody else. And, you know, we know it's the battle of the Bay, and, you know, we've been very fortunate the last 2 times we've had it here. We've been able to beat them. And, you know, it would be nice if we could keep that going on. I know they're going to try to change that up, and they've got a very strong football team, and they've got a real good quarterback themselves and an explosive offense. It's about 50-50 run pass, which is always tough to defend. And it should be a great contest. But, you know, we have older kids that have handled this real well, and you know, I think we'll continue to handle it. I don't see why not. I mean, we just, every day we go to practice, kids go to work and work hard. That's what you want.
And of course, Hampton 3-2 coming into this game, but they could very easily be 5-0 with the shootout loss to Old Dominion, and then of course the controversial loss to Bethune-Cookman. So there's still a lot, obviously, for Hampton to play for as well. So that should really make this game really exciting for the players and the fans on Saturday.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is by far the most explosive offense that we've played this year. You know, that includes South Carolina State. You know, South Carolina State was more of a let's run the ball at you and do some misdirection stuff and hit you on play action. I mean, these guys are all spread offense, and if McGree doesn't like what he sees, he takes off and runs it. You know, and at 6'6" and 235 pounds, he's basically bigger than everybody on our defense except for our nose guard. You know, and he's a hard man to bring down. He's got a rocket foreign arm. He's got good receivers that catch the football. You got the Chisholm kid that's a little gnat out there running all over the place with good quickness. I think he had close to 100 yards on us a year ago running because he's one of those darters. And so, you know, you get your hands full. Defensively, they're pretty basic what they do. They don't bring a whole lot of pressure. But they got good players all up and down the board, and they've got good depth on defense. They bring a lot of defensive linemen in. So, you know, this is should be your epic battle. You know, I mean, I wish I could predict it, but, you know, you can't.
Lastly, Coach, what will be some of the keys to your team pulling out a victory this week against Hampton?
Well, we got to just do what we got to do. And by that, I mean, you know, we have to play our football. And by that, I mean, you know, move the ball offensively, don't turn it over. You know, defensively, make plays when you got to make plays. Try to get some field position, and be real solid in the special teams. If we're able to continue to do that, I think we'll be a tough team to beat.
All right, Coach. Well, we wish you good luck this Saturday as the Spartans look for win number 5 in a row against Hampton. It's the Battle of the Bay, 49th meeting all time between these 2 local rivals. We certainly hope you can be there. Spartan fans are encouraged to wear green this Saturday to show their school spirit. And again, the Spartan Fan Zone will be up and running from 12 to 3 p.m. at Marty L. Miller Field, so be sure to check that out. More details are online at nsuspartans.com. And if you can't be there in person, be sure to check out the live video and audio streaming again at nsuspartans.com. We'll talk to you again next week on our weekly football coaches show at nsuspartans.com.